it's the night before the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather boxing match, right? The biggest combat sports event of our time, at least up until now. Let's say all the money that was involved in that fight somehow gets pulled the night before. And the promoters and the organizers go to both men and they say, gents, there is no money on the line. You are not getting paid for this fight. Do you honestly think that both men's response would be to turn around and say, well, okay, then I'm not fighting?
Mayweather pulls out.
I think so too. He's got something to lose.
He's a businessman.
He's got something to lose.
He's a businessman with a reputation that he if he fights for free, that hurts his reputation of being the man who rakes in money.
Money out. Yeah,
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Do you think he would not want to fight Conor McGregor?
I know, yeah.
He'd want to.
I agree. Yeah. I probably agree that Mayweather probably would have pulled out because of his brand, because of his image, because he's a very shrewd businessman. But come on, deep down, you can't tell me that he wouldn't be going.
He wants.
To get at this man.
Especially this trash talker who gave him so much shit in the press conferences ahead of time. That might have been, he probably would have taken that fight for free in the end, purely with the aggravation that Conor gave him leading up to that fight.
He really did go at it, man.
You wanted to kill him by the time. Now this, I think there's multiple factors that come into this. If you told someone the night before they were going to go up against Mike Tyson that they're going to do it for free, they're pulling out. If you're going to go up against Mayweather, okay, I'm going to go stand in the ring with someone like that and do my best. But
that's
you're risking your you're risking your life.
But if you're Francis Ngannou or Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua,
I suppose
it's all relative because you go, you know what I mean, you're playing in your space.
Yeah.
Conor and Floyd is actually a perfect example in a different way. Do you think that both of those men need money?
No.
You're talking about two of, if not the two highest paid combat sports athletes that have ever lived.
One of them is the highest paid athlete of all time.
Why else would you come back to fight after you've been retired? GSP. The GSP need the money? I don't know. Obviously, he's not in the same echelons as these two guys that we're speaking about. But I mean, do you know what I mean? He came back because he wanted to fight. Because in fighters, there is a love of the fight. There is a passion that is nigh undescribable to people who have never experienced it. And I don't mean that in a condescending way in any form. I just struggle to make people understand that this is a real thing that exists, and that when people say fighting is all about the money and that's the only reason people do it, hey, there are people like that, but they are exceptions to the rule. They are outliers. That is not the general case. And I've seen it across sport. There was a guy, a footballer who used to play for Tottenham Hotspurs by the name of Benoit Assou-Ekotto. Now, us three also, we all love football. We grew up in love with football, probably even way before and more intensely than martial arts even.
For the Americans, that's soccer.
Soccer, sorry. and you know, our mindset was you would play pro football for free. You don't, if you could play for Manchester United, for example, every week, you wouldn't give a fucking shit. You do that shit for free. Of course you would, you know what I mean? So your mindset is that everyone else thinks the same. You play sport, especially, and you play football because you love it. And that's what drives you to the zenith of the game, where you can become a professional and get paid to do what you love. Except Benoit Assou-Ekotto, this guy was a mercenary, right? He would openly state that he's not a professional footballer because he loves it or even because he enjoys it. He's a professional footballer because he's fucking good at it and he gets paid a shitload of money. And I was like, is this guy sick in his head? Like, how can you speak that way and basically shit all over the dreams of millions of people around the world who only care about football, like that is their whole life. But that is their reality. I maintain that is a big exception to the rule, especially in fights.